Hey guys, here's Louis. So on this video, we are going to be attacking the Turbo 350 transmission. And for you guys out there, I apologize if I did say Turbo 400 on the previous video, the video before this one. But I did say Turbo 350 a couple of times after that. Anyway, just to bring you back to speed, this is a Turbo 350. This is the transmission that was in the 1969 blue convertible Firebird that my brother Jonathan at Vinyl Village Garage left here so I can have a whole bunch of parts and even a template of some sort for the Lovebird, because all you guys that have followed me from the very beginning knows that I have built a couple of coupes but never a convertible, and that was very generous of him, and I will never stop saying thank you to him because it really was a huge help, and I was successful enough. And here goes the Lovebird looking excellent. I started some body work on the driver's side, so it's looking great. So the engine is pretty much put together now. I will clean her up and paint her, get the paint done on her. I really don't know if I'm going to paint her first or after. I really don't know. I'm not that sure. I'll decide because I have done it both ways. I have painted engines while they're in the engine bay anyway. So I'll see. I did have this bolt break inside the block, and I had to weld a couple of times. I think I counted about 20 different nuts I had to put there until I removed it, and I wasn't successful to remove the whole complete bolt, but at least I would say about half of the broken bolt in there, enough that I could put a grade 8 bolt back inside and give it a good torque on the bolt to make that timing cover flush to the block. And the reason I had to remove it is because this eye hook here, it's Pontiac, baby. When you see that, you know you're looking at a Pontiac, and that's the location they was put on. And to me, that's just a signature of a Pontiac engine, so I needed it there. All right, but also gave me a chance to look at the timing chain and everything, and believe it or not, everything looks great. And there was also a broken bolt on the bottom going through the oil pan into the timing cover. That one I was successful 100% to remove it. But now I have all the bolts that I need to be there. The water pump bolts that was missing, I did put the period correct ones in there from the collection of bolts that I have of these old Pontiac engines. So I'm ready to rock and roll. I also cleaned the flywheel and painted the flywheel, so she's looking good. All right, and then I will have to clean the torque converter. All right, and show you guys how to install that the correct way. And then please, I apologize for the wind noise outside. It's really windy today, but this is my plan of attack for the Turbo 350. And the reason I decided to go with this transmission, I have multiple transmissions. I have Turbo 400s. I have the 200 R4 or 4R 4-speed automatic transmission. Is a Chevy transmission, but the bell housing could fit Pontiac, Oldsmobile, and all that kind of stuff. Buick. But I decided for the Lovebird to go for the Turbo 350. All right, and also because I'm putting a Pontiac 350 in there. Maybe if I was putting a Pontiac 400, I would have gone with a Turbo 400. But let's be honest, guys. This is for Mrs. Leon, my wife. I don't think she's gonna be abusing the car or really, pushing hard on the throttle like I will. So I just think she's gonna make it a nice cruiser and just cruise around, take it to work a couple of times, take it to a couple of shows, local shows and stuff like that. So she don't need nothing too crazy. All right, but me and Jonathan, so the transmission fluid, I should say, the transmission fluid on the turbo 350, and it was nice and red. Okay, and we are thinking that the story behind that convertible he left here is, so as you can see, it's really filthy. I want to clean this. My plan of attack is going to be using the Easy Off oven cleaner. Guys, I have used this a whole bunch of times, and then after I will brush some diesel fuel and I'll clean it really good. Okay, um so we believe that the story behind I want to get inside because of the wind, but we do believe that the story behind the transmission and the engine to the car, which I still have the engine of the car also that Jonathan left here, I plan to use it on a future build. The oil looked good, the antifreeze looked good, the engine turns over nice. We believe that that car was abandoned by one of the owners because they went to multiple owners before we got it because the car was too rusty. I mean, that convertible was really rotted out. I never seen the car so rotted out. That one 100%. You would have to buy every panel you could possibly think of to have saved that car, and it just didn't make sense in our book because it was originally a 6-cylinder car. If it was something like maybe a 400 matching number car, 100%, I believe that Jonathan would have saved that car. But the car keeps living with the transmission that was in the car, the engine that was in the car, some things that I helped with the Lovebird, also a whole lot of things that I helped with the Lovebird, and also Jonathan have parts of that car. He helped another guy with parts of that car. I have helped people with parts of that car. So listen, the car saved a whole bunch of cars, is what I'm trying to say. So it wasn't a waste. Let's go back onto the Turbo 350, clean her up, and after I clean her up, I am going to change a couple of seals, including the filter. So I'll bring you guys along. Okay, guys. So all this, if you see the beginning of the video, was really caked up with dirt, oil, grime, anything you could possibly imagine that goes under a old car, especially one that was parked in the field. And look at all that nasty stuff up there. Pretty thick stuff. So what I use is a scraper, flathead screwdriver, and a brush. I first took the scraper and scraped everything off that I possibly could scrape, plus the screwdriver. Then I put the Easy Off. I'll leave it for about 2 minutes and I'll start scrubbing. Please use gloves and also use eye protection. And I try to scrub one way. I don't scrub up and down or side to side because you run into a chance of more of getting it to your skin or to your eyes or your face. So I scrub one way, and then to wipe some off, I use carburetor cleaner. Later on, I will use some soap, and I know you guys are not going to be agreeing with me, but I am going to use a power wash. I'm going to keep on scrubbing, and also I need to go to this side. This side and the other side that I started is the worst side. Tail shaft and where the pump is in the front ain't too bad. I will clean them, but it's not that bad. Like this. Look at how thick this stuff is. I just started scraping here. Okay. I mean, check that out. Check how thick is the dirt and crud and all that kind of stuff. Look at this. Look at that. Real thick stuff. Okay, check this out. Wow. I mean, yep, this is a filthy, filthy, filthy transmission. But I will get her to be nice, clean, and looking presentable again. All right. Check this out. Spider webs. This sucker got everything. Look at that. So, if you're a guy or girl that don't like to get dirty, I guess this is not the job for you. But it's part of the hobby, the name of the game, if you want to call it that. Like I always say, you keep your hands dirty, your project will move forward. And this is part of it too. Okay. Now these old transmissions, these turbo 350s and turbo 400, they was pretty much bulletproof, very strong old school transmissions, and that's why I have a good feeling that it still will be working. And I could see where the filler tube, I mean the dipstick tube here was leaking because somebody put some silicone there very long time ago. It's really hard, but I'll be changing all those seals before I'll paint the transmission. And just check that out. I want to show you guys that this transmission is really filthy. I never had a transmission this dirty, but it's always a first time for everything, so why not just attack it? Look at that. Just take your time. Remember, this is aluminum, so you don't want to, really mess it up too much or scratch it up too much. You are going to scratch it here and there, but try to be as gentle as possible is what I'm trying to say. A whole bunch of scrubbing here. Check that out. Wow. Look at that. It's a whole bunch of stuff here. Look at that. Wow. Had his own mountain of dirt, this transmission. Wow. Look at that. Oh, I don't know if you guys could I hope you guys could see that. How thick that stuff really is on this transmission. Well, guys, I just wanted to show you what's taking place here to get this transmission nice and clean. All right, I'll bring you guys back once I have all this grind off the transmission. And we'll see how she turns out. Well, guys, so far this is what I was able to clean. For now, I have to keep on going here And check out all that dirt just on this one side. Unbelievable. So I'm going to continue scraping. I'm first scraping and then I use the easy off and then I use some carburetor cleaner. And like I said, I might even use some diesel fuel that I have. I always use it to clean parts, but it's looking way better so far. I still have the pump side to do here. I still have the tail shaft to do also. But trust me, it's coming out way better. It's looking much better than what I started with. I have this side pretty much clean. I have one more go around on this side. Well, let's see what's the final results. All right, guys. So I got it pretty clean compared to what I started with. It's getting really windy out here. So I'm about to take her to the garage. I want to pull the pan, pull anything I have to pull, fix anything I have to fix, and put back the gaskets, all the seals that I bought. I will be showing you guys that. And then after that, I'll wipe her down again and get her ready for paint. So I use the oven cleaner. After that, I started with a paintbrush. I started just passing by the on the transmission casing with diesel fuel. After the diesel fuel, I scrubbed it with the brush, the little blue brush I showed you guys in the beginning of the video. Then I used another cup full of mineral spirit with a clean brush, and I started brushing everything down. So I did not get to use a power wash, which I'm kind of happy because I didn't want to introduce water to the transmission. I have cleaned many transmissions like this, but never was a big fan of the water process of hosing them down. I mean, I guess it's not wrong if you're going to be rebuilding the whole internal of the transmission, but I'm not. I'm just going through the transmission and basically, going through Lady Luck to see if she's any good. But I will keep filming in the garage now because of the wind noise, so I'll bring you guys back. All right, guys, we do this for the second time because the damn microphone didn't work again. I had like 7 minutes of me saying things but not recording me. I'm sorry, you guys missed when I took off the pan, and she is pretty dirty. She is pretty dirty. Check that out. She's pretty nasty in there. And like I said, I'm just hoping that she's a good running transmission. And if she's not, listen, I pull it out and I put another one. That's it. But everything here looks good. Like I said, there was no rust in here. Everything looks nice. Any little dirt that was in the bottom, I'm pretty sure that was when I flipped the transmission on the side here, or the dirt caught on the bottom end over here. And on the filter was pretty dirty. Once I did that too, I removed it. I mean, inside she has a screen that I could tell that when the fluid, how the fluid gets a filter. All right, comes from in here, from this screen, and it protects the fluid to stay clean. There was two screws that I removed. They're right here. They're very little screws, but they both the same. I removed it, and I also was showing that the dipstick is correct to the pan, because if you guys could see, I did some reading online on these TH 350 just to get a little educated on them, because it's my first one I dealt with. Not this step, but this step from here to the dipstick supposed to be nice and level. Okay, so she's supposed to be the same height as this step, and you have the correct dipstick for the transmission. It's not supposed to be super long and submerged into the fluid in the pan. That's not correct, and it's not supposed to be shorter either. So I see that so far I'm in good shape with the dipstick. Okay, everything here is looking good. Yes, the pan is really dirty. I mean, I never had a pan that dirty, but I'm going to clean everything up. I'm going to put a new oil filter. Like I said, new seals. I don't have too much money invested in it. And let's see if she makes the Lovebird go forward and backwards. So let me keep plugging away, and I want to clean the pan, sand the pan also nice and clean, sand the outside of it if I could paint it, and I'll bring you guys back. All right, guys, so here I have the transmission as clean as I possibly could get it. I think I did excellent for how she was. She was a filthy pig of a transmission, okay? And believe me, she looked really rough, but this is pretty good. I will go and wipe her all down, okay, with rubbing alcohol. I also have lacquer thinner, probably use some of that. And before I start painting the case. But here she is, okay, and I always use this once I have the transmission on the table that I'm gonna work from. It's 3 jack stands, and if you guys want to know that bolt, this is the same bolt that you are going to use on your engine stand, that you're going to use to bolt the engine to the stand. Is the same bolt, okay? I don't know, let's say maybe that's like 4 inches long, and the thread is 3/8-16. So I put a nut on this side and one more nut on this side, and I tied them out firmly. You don't have to tie them down and torque them down. And trust me, these bolts are grade A bolts. They're strong enough. Just I won't advise for you to put the jack stand all the way at the end. Keep it as close to the transmission bell housing as you can, as you possibly can. And I'm leaving the drip pan there for anything more that keeps dripping out of the transmission. I'll catch it with the oil pan. Now I'm going to be working on the transmission oil pan, because she is really dented. All right, so I'm gonna have to do a little body work to her, and my weapon of choice is my dolly and this hammer here. Okay, now, excuse me. Now, for some kind of reason, and I believe it's because this bracket, this is where your transmission, your shifter cable that goes from the shifter cable to the transmission, she was bent, and whoever had this turbo 350 did not bend it back. What they decided to do was bend the oil pan, which in my case, in my book, that's not a good idea. But here she is. Okay, the where the bolts are gonna go through is exposed, so I know it's gonna work. And look, if I bend this lip back to where she's supposed to be, it's not gonna interfere with the bracket. Okay, so also the pan is dented. She has a nice dent over here, nice dent size over there. So I have done this before, and I'm just gonna use block of wood and hit down on it. She's going down. I could already see the difference. I know it's hard for you guys to see that, but believe me, she's way flatter there now. Okay, this used to be bulging out. Now it's a little bit more flat. I know she got nice little dings. It looks like maybe they drove her through a rocky road. God knows what they did to her. But I mean, I'm not worried about the things. I just want this to be nice and surface as flat as possible. Okay. And if you notice the action I'm doing to this, I'm just letting the weight hit the pan and bounce back, hit the pan and bounce back. I'm not striking it hard. I like the way that worked out. These little dings I got here, I want to put them more flat. And there you go. Trust me, she's way better, way more flat now. Okay. Now I need to make over here flat where they bent the pan. It's kind of hard. I cannot get my dolly. Oh, I could probably get it that way. Yeah, it looks pretty good that way. Let me see if I could make the picture smaller. Go. All right. Put you guys over here. I'm lefty, so I need to work on that side. Now, guys, you can see that edge right where she was bent. She's perfect now. She's looking real good. And the next thing we have to look for on this pan will be where the bolts go. Sometimes people just torque it too much, and they will torque it and it will actually bend where the bolts go, and that's where you keep on getting leaks. Okay, so I just want to make sure she's safe there. All right, I'm really happy how she came out. Yep, just checking it out. That is good. Okay, and now this is a straight edge I have. I'm gonna check out. Yeah, I don't like that. Let me check for another straight edge. I know I have one somewhere here. Oh. Well, I'm going to be using this and seeing. Yep, she has a little bit. Okay, and as you saw, this is an angle iron, and trust me, that is thick. This is really, really, really thick. Okay, so what I'm going to use is this chisel here. All right, I'm going to see if I could make it nice and flat. That looks pretty good. This looks pretty nice and flat now. Okay, it was a little wonky. Much better. Oh, okay. Let's do this one here. That one's not going to fit. Let me see if I could get another chisel. It's pretty much a circle. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. And I believe that is it. Okay, she's nice. Give me a nice sealing surfaces here. Okay, pretty happy how that turned out. Let me go wipe down the pan, the oil pan, wipe down the transmission before I paint her. I'm gonna go move on to the seal over here. All right, this is your transmission on pump, and I'm gonna go to the seal, see if I have any luck. I started hitting it already earlier on, and she was coming out. You just want to tap it. You do not want to hurt the casing, or the pump, I should say. Gotta give it nice little taps. There you go. Once you pried it, that you saw that you had a little pried open, turn. See if you guys are watching. Turn your screwdriver like this so you don't hurt the pump. The surface that is gonna have to be nice and flat and mate for it to have a good seal. Okay, now I'm turning my screwdriver. There you go. There you go. She's collapsing little by little. There you go. See, she's turning. I'm going to see if I could pull her with the correct tool to use. I did try this earlier, but believe me, she was nice and tight there. There you go. Like butter. So what I was trying to say is, once you hit and you dent one part of the lip, the outer lip, down. Don't try to keep striking it because you could hit the pump surface here. Turn your screwdriver like this and hit it, and she will collapse even more, okay, than just hitting it straight out like this. So I want to wipe the shaft here, pump shaft. Everything that look good. Okay, there you go. That's one seal, and there's another seal in the back. So this seal here, this one I have brand spanking new, and that's the part number if you guys want to go pick it up at AutoZone. I hope you guys can see that. All right. Now you are just going to give love taps. Okay. Let me get my rubber mallet. Okay. I'm going to use a rubber mallet, way more gentle than using an iron hammer. So let's see. All right, and with this hammer, I'm going to hold one side, and with the rubber hammer, I'm going to hit one side. All right, vice versa now. There you go. She's going in little by little. Okay. This is the game you gotta play with it, guys. You gotta just keep hitting it little by little. There you go. Still have a little bit more to go. Okay. Go. Still have a little bit on this side. Right. And use a little piece of wood to see if it will finish driving it in for me. We found nothing else popping out. You go. Go. Here you go. It's getting in there. Oh yeah. All right, guys. She's pretty much in. I'm gonna move to the back. All right, guys. So on the tail shaft at this end, I'm going to use the same procedure to change this seal here. And I do have the correct tool, but sometimes they just don't want to work out for you. Okay. Like if I grab this, sometimes it won't pull out. It will just break the seal. You see? You see? So just wash it with the casing. Be careful with the casing that you do not mess it up. So I'm going to put it right on the seal itself, not on the casing. And just give it little taps. This time I'm using the rubber mallet, okay, to hit it. There you go. Once you have it like this is when I'm saying turn your screwdriver. You see, it takes it way more down. It goes outer more. Here you go. Okay. We could try with the seal puller now. Try it this way. There you go. She's coming. And guys, when you're hooking a seal, watch it with these sharp edges here, that you don't scratch inside the casing. So I know I'm still at the seal, not all the way up here. You see? I'm gonna show you. You see, I'm at the seal, not in back of the seal that I risk to take it out like this, and there you'll scratch your casing. Remember, she needs to be nice and surface there smooth for she could be sealed. So that's out. That wasn't too bad. I clean it. Make sure she's nice and clean. Okay. And I doubled up the towel like that the screwdriver doesn't scratch nothing in there. All right. I think we're good with that. Okay. And if you guys are interested in getting this sealed for the tail shaft, that's it right there. Part number. That's 5200, okay? 5200. Duralast, because I get them in AutoZone. Like I said, I don't have nothing against AutoZone or anything like that. And they are close to me, so I like to utilize them more. It just makes sense for where I'm at. I'm out at the countryside of Pennsylvania. Everything's really far from me. Ask Jonathan when he comes to visit me. He knows. So I try to use a store that is as close as possible. So this is the block of wood, okay? Over there on that side, that's what I use for the final drive-in. It's not that easy with the jack stands in front, but it's doable. And you see, I just turn my hammer. It's a rubber mallet, remember? And just give it love taps. Little love taps. And you drive her in nice and easy. Okay, now it goes to this side. You could even tell the difference in the sound when she's all the way in there, seated. Okay, take your time, go all around. Beautiful. All right, check that out. Nice brand new sealed. She's nice and flush here. No opening, no gaps, no nothing. Okay, also the front. Really nice. Ready to rock and roll. Now, I am going to put the new filter, install the oil pan. Okay, and let me show you guys the oil pan. New filter, install the oil pan gasket, and that's pretty much for the seals for now. Oh, I have to change the dipstick gasket. That's another one. Almost forgot that one. Okay. What I'm gonna do is taking out the dipstick, okay? I'm removing the dipstick. Here goes the dipstick. I'm removing the dipstick. I still have the block of wood here, which is friendly. I'm going to put it at the end of this dipstick inside where the transmission is, the casing inside. And just give it some love taps. There you go. And she came out. Okay, now check this out. This rubber seal is done. I mean, she's really tough, hard in there. She's supposed to be pliable, and she's not pliable at all. So doing that, I'm gonna clean in here first. Okay, nice and clean. When I have the dipstick off, let me just clean a little bit of grease that is still here. I'm really amazed how this transmission came out after all that nasty stuff that was there. But just to show you, the hard work goes a long way, guys. So now I will remove the O-ring of the dipstick. Gonna remove the O-ring of the dipstick. I have a new one and a seal kit that I bought a while ago. Also, let me show you guys this. So this is called a tap top hat, okay? The top hat seal. And believe it or not, I just saw something here. I just saw something in the transmission, really interested. I'll share with you guys. So this actually came out first, okay? The O-ring seal came out first, but this was the problem. That if you don't have a surface here for the O-ring to sit, it's not going to seal, okay? And later on, when they kept making these turbo 350s, also a turbo 400, I need to do this job to my 69 fiber. She leaks through here. Somebody came out later on with the invention of deleting the O-ring and putting the top hat. So I'm going to put the top hat here. All right. And the reason they did that, because it was a way better seal. I mean, the guy was a genius, whoever did that. So if you guys look at transmission casings that doesn't have the groove here for the O-ring, don't replace it with the O-ring. Replace it with the top hat. And I'm lucky enough to still have one here. All right, so we're gonna drive her in. We're gonna put her in here. Okay. It fits nice and snugged. That was nice and snugged. And we're gonna put a little transmission fluid just to drive in the dipstick. And this is what I'm gonna be using to remove it. A pick. And she came out nice. Wipe her down. She's a dirty little thing here. Okay. And there's some nice and clean. That pan was clean. So I am going to use a little tranny fluid. I just wet my finger. And you don't need much. Okay. Nobody likes nothing when you're driving it in dry. And that goes for anything, your bolts and all that. Little lube goes a long way. Believe me. So you come here and you present the tube to the top hat. It's gonna be a nice tight fit, but that's what you want. And you use an adjustable wrench. Make a nice and tight here. Okay. You're gonna drive this sucker in. I'm putting her right here. This groove on the metal right there, and that's where I'm putting her. Okay. Let me get a wrench, a box wrench that fits there better. All right, guys, and since I have the transmission like this, it's gonna be really hard for me to film at the bottom. But this is the filter kit. Okay, I brought 2 filters. All right, sorry, a gasket, 1 filter, and another gasket for the pan. And the part number, there you go. Always make sure that this gasket came out of the transmission, and it's pretty straightforward. Let me see if I could catch something down there. I'm trying my best. So the gasket is gonna go here. Okay, the small black gasket is gonna go there. Then the filter will go. All right. So this small black gasket will go first, Make sure you have it on the correct side that your two screws could pass through, which are the two smaller holes. Then put the filter, okay, and the screws to hold it will go there. So she's gonna be in like this, and through there your screws. Then lay out your gasket for your pan and start your 13 bolts. Remember, snug them, cross pattern, all right, and then look up for your torque specs for the bolts on the pan. Guys, and one more thing to install is the vacuum modulator. This is the hold down clip. Always make sure you put it back the right way. That's the way it goes in. I did remove it, but I had the camera off. You just take this out. Make sure inside here is nice and clean. The O-ring always likes to stay stuck, which is here. It was stuck. I took it out. And this is the part number from AutoZone. Okay, and it's supposed to bring this little 90 vacuum hose and a brand new O-ring. You always want to wet the O-ring with a little transmission fluid. Put it back in there and put your bracket, your hold down bracket. Remember that the casing to a transmission is aluminum, so just put a little anti-seize here, very little, you don't need much, and bolt it down. That's the last step before I go and give it one more wipe and then paint the transmission. I already installed the pan with the gasket and of course the filter of the transmission first. All that looks to be good here, and I'm gonna get painting pretty soon. Well guys, here is how the transmission finally look, and is as clean as I possibly can get it. Okay, I cannot get it no more clean than that. I took out the dipstick because I'll paint the dipstick separate, but I did a little masking to her with the blue tape. Okay, I think everything else is safe to be painted. And let me tell you something, for what I started with, okay, she looks way more decent. All right, so I'm done changing the parts that I'm going to change. I have to cover here where the vacuum modulator comes because I don't want it to get messed up, the new one, with paint. I don't want it to be covered with paint. So I'm going to cover that, and then I'm going to start painting her. And what I'm using is these rattle cans that I have left from previous projects. They both happen to be the gray color, so we see how this transmission turns out. Well guys, after all that work, okay, and I ain't gonna lie, it wasn't that easy. The transmission, the seals that I was gonna change did get changed. Okay, she did get cleaned, and she got some paint. Well guys, like I always say, with a little hard work, it's really unbelievable how you can make something old look close to new again, or at least reusable. All right, there goes the transmission. And like I said, with all the seals replaced that I was going to replace, okay, and hopefully she will get married to the Pontiac 350 really soon. The last piece of the puzzle is for me to clean that torque converter, fill her up with transmission fluid, install her here at the transmission, and marry them two together. I will be showing that on a future video, which it might even be the next video. Like that, we could all see the Lovebird getting a transplant of a new brain and a new heart. I also received all my brake lines. I just picked up new front rotors, new front calipers, brake hose, everything that I need to do the front brake disc conversion with local parts. Okay, a whole bunch of local parts. And if you guys want to see that video, leave me a comment on below of the screen there. And guys, like I always say, keep your hands dirty and your project will move forward. And by the way, this video is being uploaded on my birthday. That's right, my birthday is today, October 18th, and that is the day I finished painting this transmission. Doing that whole job took me 2 days, a couple hours. Take care now. Like I always say, take care, keep your hands dirty, and your project will move forward. Bye bye now.